Welcome to Anglesey. It's round 7 of 2017. It's now time for the A&RR Racing Continental Pre-National 600 Sport and Freshman. And in this race, we're about ready to go with number 64 here, Pete Ritchie's. What a performance he put in at Rockingham, and he seems to have continued his form on. Zach Altram there, number 47. Well, he can win the championship here in this race. And there is Paul McDonald looking to try and make sure that doesn't happen. He's second in the Pre-National 600 Sport Championship. In the freshman, it's not quite as clear cut. Coming into the weekend, Lee McLaughlin was ahead of Michael Coxon by just 18 points. So let's see how this one pans out. Zach Altram, number 47, looking to try and get the championship wrapped up as they go into turn 1 here at Anglesey target corner. Then they'll flick it right into the banking. Pete Ritchie's, remember, orange jacket. He is a rookie, technically, coming into this weekend 5th overall in the freshman championship, but he is climbing the standings like nobody's business, and he's leading this race at the moment as well. An absolutely jam-packed grid here at Anglesey. Coming into this weekend, I've never seen a programme page so packed in my life. 47 names you can find on there as we now ride with Daniel Jones uphill and up towards Rocket Corner. And outbreaking 1 or 2 riders there as well. Brilliant move, and that looks really nasty. And that is Paul McDonald who's gone down. Oh, and there's another one who's gone down as well. Oh, that looks really nasty. Oh dear, it doesn't look too good at all. And I think we're going to see a stop to this. There'll be red flags out in no time at all. Yep, there they are. It was going to get a fresh restart here. A completely new start to the race. And whilst we are, of course, concerned, we'll send our best wishes to those who are down. What I can confirm is that has just wrapped up the championship. Zach Altram, courtesy of Paul McDonald not even being in this race, is now confirmed champion. It was pretty much done and dusted anyway. Paul McDonald has run into an awful lot of bad form recently, and not all of it his fault. He's had a lot of bad luck, but ultimately speaking, that's it. Sam Molesley here. You can see the University of Wales, Trinity St David. He's getting messed about here into the banking. Nudged left, nudged right, and a mistake here, and you could find yourself all the way out of the point. Steve Day here, Thundersport Syd alongside me. I didn't even get a chance to speak to you before the red flag, Sid. It was all a bit carnage on lap 1.
Well, we've had a lot of red flags here this weekend, more than we've had for a long time, it has to be said. And we even went for an early lunch yesterday because it was just absolute carnage. But anyway, it sort of flattened itself out. Let's hope that's the last one we've got. That we're going to see, because I mean red flags are no good for anybody, and as you said, best regards to the guys who went down. Paul McDonald's had all his bad luck that he needs for this year, and let's hope he's back soon at Alton Park.
Here we are now riding with MSG Racing Suzuki rider Chris Curtis around the final turn. A tricky one to navigate that, and then on to probably the shortest start finish straight on the calendar into target corner, deceivingly fast left-hander, and then up towards the banking. Lee McLaughlin it is that has the advantage at the moment out front. There he is, number 24, freshman rider, followed by freshman rider. You don't want to go on the grass there. That is number 85, Neil Goodson. Flirting with danger, but there's so many bikes here. There is Zach Altram. Quick word on him, Sid. This championship is now his. It's looked like it's going to be going that way for some time.
Yeah, I mean, it's ebbed and flowed for him a touch, hasn't it? You know, like, I mean, there's been people who've like popped up in front of him and everything else, but he's held his nerve, brought it in, you know, with placed finishes if necessary, and just kept the consistency up. And the championship look is now here with him two rounds early, and fair play to him. You know, he's done a great job, hasn't he?
He really has. These two freshman riders are looking pretty sharp in the latter stages of this season as well. McLaughlin there and Pete Ritchie's. Yeah. Look out for them next year.
And it's a great class, this is, for bringing like new guys on, and obviously Pete Ritchie's is a classic example of that. Really fast right out of the box, and you know, I mean, like, how fast is he? You know, he got the lap record, didn't he, yesterday?
Yep.
And it's just really fast in the drive. I've seen a few cracks in his, few chinks, as you might say, in his armour in wet races.
Yeah.
He's not that keen on the wet races, I don't think.
No, well, that can only come with experience of racing in the wet.
Well, exactly, yeah.
And I mean, more than anything else, down to confidence as well.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Because you don't believe that those wets are going to grip like they do you?
No, absolutely not. Nice move there from Sam Molesley, just showing you how it's done into Rocket, which can be a really awkward corner to navigate at times.
He's coming on nicely, Sam, isn't he? Actually,
yeah, the results are coming.
Steady ahead.
Yeah, results are definitely coming for Sam.
But, you know, it's like really difficult with this, I mean, absolutely jam-packed grid. There's so much going on at every round, every race. You know, I mean, there's just people around you everywhere. One mistake and 3 or 4 bikes are past you, like happened with Sam on that first lap.
Well, we'll see what Zach Ultram fancies doing next year. You would imagine either the Elite 600 class like his predecessor champion Lloyd Shelley, or maybe even a fancies to go on a big bike, the GP1. There's Will Harper in 3rd place, number 11. Having a good run out. 86 up behind him is Luke Turner, another rookie with an orange bib on, and then it is Zach Ultram, our new champion. Sam is doing well, Sam Ho, King Sam Ho.
He is indeed.
Known as Sam in the paddock. He had a big crash here, remember, last year on the exit of the final corner.
Yeah. He's come along with some nice kit. I noticed at Rockingham he's got a lovely wagon now, and his bike is all well turned out, and his leathers. He really does look the part, and he's really putting everything, you know, into his racing, and he's coming on nicely, I have to say. I'm really chuffed for him.
Now, Sid, we've been coming to Anglesey since the first year, haven't we? And has to be said, this is the busiest, as we see someone there just pulling off, is the busiest the paddock's ever looked.
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely jam-packed. Yeah, they're parked everywhere, to be honest with you, but it is the busiest, I can tell you, figures-wise. And yet, you wouldn't believe it, would you? You know, a lot of people have to travel a long way to come to Anglesey.
Oh, nasty crash there, and that can happen on the Exeter Club corner. The good news is, though, Ryder is going to run away from that and not get collected. That is Kieran Brocky, who's just gone down, number 33, rider from Nantwich. So that's the end of his race, I'm afraid. Meanwhile, at the front, Pete Ritchie's has now got out front ahead of Lee McLaughlin, and a moment ago set the fastest lap, which is another new lap record in the freshman class. It's a 1:11.454. So he really has got the bit between his teeth. Pete Ritchie's, courtesy of his form at Rockingham and what he's doing here, actually has a chance of finishing inside the top 3 of this championship.
Wow.
Technically speaking, if things were to really go his way, he could win it. It's not that far-fetched, but he would obviously need Lee McLaughlin and Michael Coxon and Stephen Thomas and co to have a little bit of a knock of form, shall we say, between now and the end of the year. But Pete Ritchie's, with this form, could have something to say in the freshman championship.
He's shown that he's very good at learning new circuits. I mean, these are all new to him, aren't they?
Yep, they are.
So, you know, to come on as strong as he is in this kind of way is quite phenomenal, which leads you to expect that he is going to do well again. And I mean, the only thing is, I don't know, there's some turbulent weather around at the minute, and whether Alton will be wet, I just don't know.
I'll tell you one thing, he's travelled far enough anyway. Pete Ritchie's hails from Gosport. That's down on the south coast. Is that near Portsmouth or Southampton or something like that?
Is he really? Do you know? I haven't noticed that before.
That is some journey from down there all the way up to Anglesey, I'll tell you that much. That really is. Number 64. So he's looking to try and at least travel home and stick some trophies on the
I wouldn't have thought that was on the south coast. As soon as you say Gosport, it sounds like a Lincolnshire town.
Well, unless I'm completely wrong, I might have to look that up in a bit. In between races, we'll find out, just to make sure, in case I've had an absolute mare. But I'm pretty sure Gosport is down.
You're probably right, but it just, as I say, it just sounds like a Lincolnshire town, but it's probably just sounds similar to.
The thing is, Sid, when we're tucked away here on the East Coast, anything sounds like it might be up north. Anyway, Here is Ritchie's, he leads from McLaughlin, and then Zach Ultram, who's got ahead now of Harper and number 86, Luke Turner. Behind these guys, can't quite see them, you've got Sam Ho battling with Alan Brooks, Liam Warren, Dan Jones, Freddie Crane. Nice to see Freddie Crane out there racing, a former Super Teen rider, lovely young lad, and his dad that travel along from Ramsey in the Isle of Man. So really good to see those guys here fighting it out. Sam Molesley we've already seen, we've been on board with him as well. We've got a Tom Hill just outside the points, but it's not Tommy Hill, I should just point out, former British Superbike champion. AJ McDaniel, our resident Texan, just outside the points at the moment as well. But he is a freshman rider, and technically speaking at the moment, I think AJ is in the top 3 in this race off freshmen. So he's on for some points again. He's looking to try and finish, of course, in the top 3 of the championship overall. Now, who is Chris Helliwell hanging a pit board out to there? He's got his own pit board because it said 64 skid marks, and it was Chris himself hanging out the pit board. I'm not sure who to... Well, I can only guess actually that it might be Pete Ritchie's because of the number 64 as well. Maybe he's a Chris Helliwell fan at heart. You never know.
Well, I can reveal, Steve.
Hang on a second, Sid. We'll go back to that. You're going to talk about Gosport. I know Neil Goodson has gone down. He was playing on the grass earlier, so he's had a warning. Unfortunately, he's gone down, but he's okay. Come on then, announce it to me.
No, it is. You're right. It's Portsmouth. So it is South Coast. So I mean, definitely Gosport Ferry and all that. Yeah. So you were spot on the money. Well done.
I would not want to drive from Portsmouth to Anglesey.
No, it's bad enough from Lowestoft to Anglesey. But no, it's again, it's a little bit like the town we live in. It's a long way.
Oh, Kevin Adams are on board with. He's gone down now. That's the end of his race.
My goodness.
And that was a funny angle to have a camera there, wasn't it? I almost expected to see James Bond walking across there with 007 coming on the screen. That's the end of the race anyway. Shaken not stirred is Pete Ritchie's. Number 64, he's done it again, another brilliant win for Pete. And even though he has got a long trip back home to Pompey, he'll have a winner's trophy to stick on the old dashboard of the truck. He wins it from Lee McLaughlin and Zach Ultram. Well done, you are the champion of 2017. Will Harper was 4th ahead of Luke Turner, and there you see the top 3 overall. Ritchie's, McLaughlin, oh no, there is Ritchie's, McLaughlin, and other freshman rider AJ McDaniel. Zach Ultram, of course, the champion and winner. We'll be back after this short break with race 2.
Continental, get the grip.
Time for race 2, A&RR Racing, pre-national sport 600s and the freshman 600s as well. Brought to you by Continental. Here's Pete Ritchie's. Sounds like he should be some sort of pop star, doesn't he? Pete Ritchie's. He is on
He's got
pole.
the hair for it.
Well, he has, yeah. The long locks. He was winner in race 1, the freshman rookie rider, going great. We saw there Zach Ultram, looks pretty calm, cool and collected considering he's now the champion. There's a gap on the front row, Paul McDonald, who crashed out earlier. Word is he's got a dislocated hip, ouch. So send our best wishes to you, Paul. Hopefully he'll be back before the end of the season, because the moment he's still second in the championship, but that could all change going into Alton Park if he's not fit for that one. Here we go then, riding with Chris Curtis on the MSG Racing Suzuki into the banking. Oh dear, there's a few riders going a bit wide into there. but of course we've got so many 600s trying to filter into the banking. There's no surprise that they're not all making it through squeaky clean. There's number 14 a little bit further back. That's Daniel Jones from Solihull, but it's Pete Ritchie's that lead from Zach Ultram. Then it's Lee McLaughlin and number 11 Will Harper. That's your top 4 as they head around the school straight. But there's smoke puffing up there. I'm not sure if that was from a bike or a tyre, but it looks all right now. Ritchie's it is that leads from Ultram. They're just a couple of places back on the number 58 Triumph is Liam Warren. And just behind Liam Warren, we've got Luke Turner, and then 114 is Alan Brooks. So the same sort of names in the mix here and in the frame in the early stages of this one. Number 300 there as well is Sam Ho. He's trying to get himself inside the top 10. 38 and number 14 then follow. Jeremy Watson and Daniel Jones again.
Tell you what, Alan Brooks 119's done well this year as well. I'm quite impressed with him. He's had a really, really good year, particularly with the company that's out there now. You know, a lot of these guys are coming on strong, and I mean, not being disrespectful to Alan, but he's not the youngest bloke in the world, is he?
No, the thing is about Alan is he's locked in this interesting battle for third overall in the pre-National Sport 600 Championship with Jeremy Watson, Will Harper and Liam Warren. There's not a lot to split them.
No.
We ride with Pitty at the moment, Nige Pitt, who's just trying to make up a place here around onto the back straight.
See, Nige has been doing really well this year.
Yeah,
I'm quite pleased for him.
He's taken a leap forward.
He has taken a leap, yeah, it's quite good. Great to see.
I don't think Nigel will mind us mentioning that when he first came over, he was sort of towards the tail end of pretty much most races, but now he's getting himself properly involved in the races mid-pack and having a good old scrap is Nigel. It's nice to see. But yeah, going back to Alan Brooks, with Paul McDonald now out, and I hate to speak ill of Paul when he's out injured.
Well, because a dislocated hip, I mean, you've got to be very careful with an injury like that. You could come back fairly, depending on how bad it is. But you know, it's one of those injuries that you really should look after. And I hate to say it, but you know, if he was half sensible, he would stay out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, well, we'll wait and see. But what it does do, of course, is that it then means that Liam Warren, Alan Brooks, Jeremy Watson and Will Harper could, in theory, fight for second and third in the championship.
Oh, I see, yeah.
But don't count out the man who came in when we came into this round was 7th overall. The man you're looking at there, Pete Ritchie's. A couple of good runs, and a couple of good weekends where there's 200 points up for grabs. You just never know what might happen. And Pete Ritchie could all of a sudden come from nowhere. He's been in the championship, I think, all year anyway. But it's just. Well, has he? I can't remember. Either way, it's only of late that we've really started picking him up and noticing him. Number 64 here. We'll have a look at the points at the end of this race.
He's still got his orange jacket on, hasn't he? But
I think he's doing that for effect more than anything else. Scare the opposition away.
Man in black, otherwise.
Steer clear. I'm a rookie. I've got to say, something to be said for the colour scheme as well. I don't know why. I mean, obviously, it takes us back to the days when we were racing Syd, but I do love an all-black bike, all-black levers, and the black helmet look. It's sort of mean, isn't it?
Yeah, old Jordan Rusby broke out his next year's, I think it's BMW he's got, but it's in a black sort of silk colour, like a finish. That does look nice, I have to say. You know, it looks awesome. So that's quite a nice colour scheme, yeah. So if he was to win every race now, Pete Ritchie's, he's got potentially 200 points, hasn't he?
Yeah.
200 points, so he could
get second in the championship.
Yeah, he could, yes.
You know, he would have to probably rely on one or two others having a few mishaps here and there, but Ritchie's could do it. Here he is at the moment, up ahead of the current champion, Zach Ultram. He can't catch him. Championship is now his. Will Harper's in third. Lee McLaughlin's made a mistake and he's fallen back a bit. Syd, you're not going to believe this. Pete Ritchie's just gone across the line. In race 1, he set a new lap record in the freshman category with a 1:11.454. He's just gone across the line, a 1:11.454. Exactly the same lap
Unbelievable.
time from Pete Ritchie's.
Unbelievable that is, isn't it?
The last time I saw something like that was actually quite recently at Silverstone. Mattia Pizzini set a pole position time in the Moto2 qualifying and then posted exactly the same time a moment later, although he did admit that if you went another decimal, I think it was a couple of here and there. But
because another thing is, we don't know, I mean, I haven't spoken to him at all about it, we don't now know what Zach is going to do. I mean, like some of the guys sometimes go, do you know what, I've got the championship, I'm going to do the Sportsman Elite now instead, and like sort of, you know, get myself all crossed up for next year.
Quite possible. Quite possible.
Because they do like to push themselves, don't they?
Certainly do. That's what happened with Lloyd Shelley last year, wasn't it? He did it once championship was signed, sealed and delivered.
And the thing is, if you look here, I mean, yeah, Pete Ritchie's is fast here, but look now, the pressure's off. He's not getting away from Zach, is he?
We've had some, if you actually look back since pre-national 600s were created, we've had some very successful riders that have come out of this championship.
Oh God, yeah.
True Love Brothers have both had a play in this before. We've already mentioned that. They've had a real good ding-dong in this championship. Lee Williams came from this championship. Barry Teasdale came from this championship. James Shaw went from here direct into British Championship. So they're no slouches. And Lloyd Shelley at the moment, last year's champion, is what is he, second in the Sportsman 600 Championship at the moment in the elite class.
The other thing is that to say at Thundersport GB we're committed to 600s is an understatement, because with the potential demise of 600s in the British Championship, which is what is reported, you know, we might, starting next year, have to have 2 full grids of these guys, the pre-national, and if we have to, we will, because it's really important for these guys to do that, you know, to have somewhere to go. And what you might be able to have, you never know, you might be able to have a full grid of freshmen and a full grid of sportsmen, do you follow me?
Like it. Yeah. Well, why not? Let's hope it happens. I tell you what, Sid, it's come on a bit since 08. Remember when we rocked up here in 2008 for what was then a Thundersport 600 race? I'm not kidding. We can talk about it now. There were probably 7 or 8 bikes on the grid.
Yeah.
You had 7 or 8 600s. Of course, it was only the first year. Word got about. Thundersport has gone from strength to strength, and now look, just in one class alone, you had 47 entries here. That's just for one of the 600 categories.
Yeah, unbelievable, isn't it? But, you know, I think there's a huge amount of strength still in the 600s, and you know, I mean, I know there's got to be change with what is happening on the world stage and even the British, but I think that there's a huge amount of life still in the 600 class, and will be supporting it for the foreseeable future.
Go on then, Sid, if I test your knowledge, who was the Thundersport 600 champion in 08, the inaugural year? It's an easy one, really.
Not Gary May.
Of course it was Gary May. And his love-hate relationship with
Rob
runner-up
Hoyles.
Rob Hoyles.
That was a good battle against them.
Very good. Jenny Tenmouth, of course, got her nose involved over at Brands and beat Gary. He wasn't very happy with that. And then back in that particular year, when we turned up here, the likes of Cliffy Hamilton and Marty Lennon were in the mix.
Cliffy Hamilton.
With, is it Scott Kelly? I think as well. Yeah, there was...
Whatever happened to Cliffy Hamilton, eh?
He'll be about somewhere. Make no mistake.
He was a haulier, wasn't he? That's right.
He'll
in
be
Ireland. Came with a proper big clan, didn't he?
Yeah, good group they were as well.
Yeah.
Good group. Anyway, we'll focus now. We've been reminiscing for the last couple of laps, myself and Sid, on this particular race. You look there at Freddie Crane, just inside the top 10. Here is Zach Altram now. Been very consistent this year as Zach. Pete Ritchie's there, just going through to lap another rider. Looking really comfortable. It's going to be another decent points set of points here for him. Just looking at the results throughout the rest of the weekend, actually. Pete, he must have had a hiccup somewhere. definitely had a hiccup in race 4 yesterday. I don't know what happened to him, but he was all the way down in 21st place. He must have made a mistake because his lap time suggested he was somewhere else. As he now comes into Rocket Corner, Zach Altram's going to have his work cut out trying to chase down Pete Ritchie's here. That didn't sound very good. I just heard the sound of a bike going down, and it is Zach Altram, I'm sure. Zach Altram's just gone missing. I just heard the sound of a bike crashing, that horrible sound that you can sometimes pick up. And Zach Altram, yeah, there he is. He's gone down at the top of the hill into Rocket, I'm afraid. He's okay, he walks away, but his first race as a champion comes to an end. He was hunting down this guy, couldn't find a way past him.
Did I dare say that he'd let the brakes off? My goodness.
Either way, that is it on the final lap. Race is done, and the checker flag is out. Pete Ritchie does it again. And with no Zach Altram, it promotes Lee McLaughlin up to second and Will Harper up to third. On board here with Nigel Pitt just coming through the chicane, and unfortunately has another rider gone down there as well. Quite sure who that is, but I think that was Kamal Oram, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, that is it. The win for Pete Ritchie's once more. I'll be fascinated to see where he sits in the championship after this one. Let's see how they fare. Ritchie's won it. Freshman rider, of course, from Lee McLaughlin, Will Harper, Liam Warren, Luke Turner and Sam Ho. Top 3 in the sportsman class on the podium are Will Harper, Liam Warren and Luke Turner. In the freshman is Pete Ritchie's there from Lee McLaughlin. And in third place, AJ McDaniel. And now let's look at the points. I tell you what, second place is on. Paul McDonald might be out of this, but Zach Altram the champion, but Pete Ritchie's is the man to look out for. He is only 42 points down on second place. Lee McLaughlin it is that leads the pre-national freshman 600. And from 5th place, Pete Ritchie's has climbed up to second. He could even win that too. Unbelievable stuff. Be sure to join us where double points are on offer at Alton Park for the penultimate round of 2017 next time out.